Yo, what up? Oh, I can't see chat. Oh, I can't see chat. How do I fix that? Why is my chat not showing up in OBS? I guess I gotta do it manually. Okay, that works. That's fine. Old school style. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone going? Lars has no stars. That's cringe. Did Lars have stars on his outfit? Is he just like fake of the stars? Like he doesn't actually have stars? Yeah, he had no stars on his design. Damn. How's it doing? How's it hanging? You know what I need? It's already early. Not a ton of people in chat yet. I'm gonna get some music going. I think it's about time. He has star earrings in future. No, he doesn't. He has skulls. Maybe, wait. I'm looking at the wiki. I think the wiki is like wrong 90% of the time though. Is my channel inspired by overanalyzing Avatar as much as I think it is? I don't know how much you think it is, but it is inspired by that channel, yes. That was the idea, was to create a series somewhat like that one, but for a show that I have watched thousands of times. I don't know about thousands, but I spent a lot of time watching the show. I went and got the Factorio DLC soundtrack specifically for this stream, and we're going to be shuffling through that for the whole stream. I have, there's been a history of a lot of people saying that they find my channel and then binge all of my videos at once, which I like. It's good for, it's good for the algorithm. Not to be shallow and say like, oh, everything I do is about the algorithm, but the fact that people will find one video and be like, oh, I want to watch the whole show. That does good things. But I enjoy that people enjoy my videos. It's nice. You try to pace yourself, but the vids are too good. I'm pacing myself because I do one a week. And I've had people complain about that. I've had people say, well, if you only do one a week, it's going to take like 5 years to get through everything. I'm like, yeah, it is going to. But I'm not going to burn myself out because that's what I did with... That's what I did previously. I did that shitty series, Crystal Sins. Don't ever watch that, ever. Carl, shut up. I can already hear you typing. I can hear your keyboard from here. Don't watch Crystal Sins. It's bad. But I would do this thing where I would release like 5 videos in a week and I'd burn myself out real bad. I knew it. I saw you. Okay. I'm gonna get the actual episode pulled up. They're still going over Monster Buddies because that was the episode that we did. Don't watch Crystal Sins. It sucks. It's there for anyone who wants it, but don't. Also, how... There we go. Yeah, the structure of the channel is very much inspired by overanalyzing Avatar. I tried my best to write original stuff instead of like stealing jokes. I don't think I've stolen a single joke. Also, you might notice, if anyone is here from previous streams, you first of all, you might notice that I missed last week, and that's because I needed to do surgery on my computer. My computer needed a transplant. It, what do you call it? The graphics processing unit, was shitty, and I had to get a new one for OBS to work at all. I needed to do surgery on a grape. Did you know they did surgery on a grape? But I did surgery on my computer. My computer exploded? Yeah. We're gonna be seeing a lot of rampant speculation in the chat about the new Lars of the Stars, because that got announced. I should address the Lars of the Stars and the fact that, I mean, I'll just be talking about it the whole stream because people will be asking about it. I have no opinions yet. First of all, I'm playing it safe because I got hyped up for Steven Universe Future when that came out, and then I was very disappointed in that whole show. Was not a fan when it came out. It was not anything that I wanted. It didn't fulfill any of my desires that I wanted from when the show came back. But yeah, so I'm playing it safe. I'm not participating in the rampant speculation like, oh, what if Lars dies a second time? It's like, nah, I'm just gonna... All we got is a title and a description and nothing else. We don't even know if the same guy is playing Lars in the new one. I don't think. You know what? I'm gonna go up and read the, like, official announcement. Because there's no release date, there's no official, like, details other than a title and a description. Anyway. I'm going on Variety.com to read this. Oh yeah, the 10th season of Teen Titans Go. I have a feeling that Pad Paretra's gimmick would get old very fast if she's a main character. I think her gimmick got old after 2 episodes. I like that character. I think it's a funny idea, but if the idea is that she's just going to be saying things that already happened, like, constantly, I would get annoyed at that, yes. What was the official statement? Okay. Lars will smuggle contraband, evade authorities, and uncover the dark secrets of the fallen Gem Empire. That's all we know. That means there's gonna be flashback episodes. That means it's gonna be in space. Am I streaming on Twitch? No. I have been wanting to stream to Twitch, but only for games, because I didn't want to stream games onto my YouTube channel. So maybe it's easy to find me. I have the same profile picture, same username. Waiting for those roundtable theory videos. Yep, there already was at least one. I remember seeing it. I'm going back a little bit. What is your favorite outfit that Steven wears? I don't think I have a favorite. I think his regular, just iconic star, like pink star t-shirt. I mean, like this without the jacket. That's, yeah. That's all I care about. Have I played a Steven Universe game? No, unfortunately. I missed the window where you could actually buy them, and now they're all delisted. Unless you find, like, a physical copy of one of them. Or pirate it. Which I did. I found a copy on the Internet Archive. Don't tell anyone, though. It's not red, it's pink. Garnet is red. Garnet is like magenta red. Steven's thing is pink. Minecraft story mode all over again. I didn't know it was delisted. Yeah. Wait, Minecraft story mode got caught in the crossfire with all that that stuff with Telltale, right? Where they like went bankrupt and they had to pull a bunch of games until they... Yeah. It was on Netflix? Yeah, I remember that. It was weird to see, like, a game on Netflix. That's strange. I also see, the frickin'... What do you call it? I see games on YouTube every so often. They, like, pop up, and I have to, like, click the thing to hide them. And, yeah, It's... I don't want to play games in YouTube. I go to YouTube to watch a video, and that's it. I watch videos, I upload videos, I don't need fucking games. This is a picture from the show. Steven's face looks wrong. Yeah. Well, it's in, like, mid-blinking. Like, he's blinking right there. And Garnet's speaking. No, Amethyst is just, like, freaking out. I want to know who asked for YouTube games. Probably children. I haven't seen any YouTube ads in a long time because I have ad blockers and YouTube Premium. So I don't, what do you call it? I've heard the stories of all, like, the crackpot crazy ads that exist, like the like sex toys and apparently you said pregnant child. That's I haven't seen any of that. I also know that the big one was the robot, like the fake AI robot dog. It was like a totally fake advertisement. Yeah, I don't see ads. I'd happily pay money to not see ads. Who's my favorite character in Steven Universe? Probably Amethyst. After all this time thinking, it used to be Peridot, but Amethyst gets, like, Amethyst doesn't get, like, sent to the back burner after she's done having a character moment. Also, you asked the same question 3 times. I read it the first few times. You don't have to ask the same question over and over. Also, Lion. I like Lion's music. He's just chill. I'm doing the hot takes video soon. If you left a comment in that community post, I will try to include it. I got a ton of. I never expected to get that many responses, so I feel like that video is going to be. I'm going to either have to cut some out or go way longer than like the video is going to have to be extremely long to get everyone. She got slimed. She got Nickelodeon. Her sandwich got Nickelodeon slimed. Sorry, her torta. Si torta. I'm just gonna look at some of the comments that I got for the hot takes post. Okay, you got an ad on my stream? Yeah, it happens. I want a torta. I want to... Have you ever... Hey, I'm going to talk food because I haven't had dinner and I'm probably going to be starving by the end of the stream. You guys ever had like a Vietnamese sandwich? There was once, in a long time ago, there was this Vietnamese restaurant that did sandwiches where I lived. And I... what do you call it? I cannot... I need a Vietnamese sandwich at some point. What is it called? Banh mi? Hold on. Yeah, banh mi. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying that right. They're so good. They use like this... They always had this sauce on it that was a little bit sweet, and it was so fucking delicious. And they're full of vegetables, and... it's making me hungry, man. I gotta not talk about food during this stream. I want to figure out how to make this. I know it's not gonna be authentic because I'm not Vietnamese. I mean, I made like French and Italian food and Japanese food, and it's not authentic. But what makes an authentic like ethnic cuisine? What is like? Is it ingredients? Is it the person who makes it? Or is it just like if it's prepared the way that it's traditionally prepared? What is so delicious? Banh mi. I should pull up some pictures of it. Let's see. Is this set to the right window? No, it is not. Let me set that to the right window. This shit. It's so good. It's got so many vegetables. The technique and ingredients, yeah, I can agree with that. Man, I'm looking at all this food, and I'm not even saying anything, and my fucking mouth is watering. It looks so good. I only had a slice of pizza for lunch, so I'm a little bit extra hungry. I've been trying not to, like, overeat and, like, buy snacks. Because, like, the past few times that I bought bags of chips, I would just end up eating the whole thing, and I feel... I'm not fat, but I feel like I will get fat very quickly if I have snacks all the time. Eat 10,000 ice creams? I'd rather not. I did have a little bit of ice cream earlier today. I was just finishing off a tub of it. I will be as fat as Steven. I hope I'm only as fat as Steven in the movie. Steven isn't, like, all that fat as the show goes on. He's just a little... He's a little guy. I mean, he's fatter than a lot of kids that I've worked with. I mean, this is also not accurate because he's in the puffy... what do you call it? Can we talk about the bubble? I complained about the bubble in the video. That the fact that Garnet can just, like, do that. Like, put him in a bubble and send him back. I think that's bullshit. But also, other people were saying what I should have complained about was the fact that he can fucking, like, release himself from the bubble. It's weird. Steven's just round. He's still got a little baby fat. If people are saying that he's like 12 or 13 during season 1, that's pretty old to be having baby fat. Goddamn. They knew they messed up because it never happened again. I agree. I think they ended up like... This is like a retcon, but like not a retcon, if that makes... It's retcon adjacent, if that makes any sense. Tomato Tate, I recognize that name. How's it going? It's a season 1 thing. Yeah, it's another one of those season 1 things that never happens again or like never gets mentioned. That he gets fucking... They also, I should point out, they used this shot of him like... Hold on. Let me play it a little bit. Of him like fucking, whoa, flying through. They used this a ton during... previews where he's like all squished and doing... It's like this big water slide, tunnel water slide kind of thing. He could have bubbled Connie in escapism. That's what I'm saying. So excited for Lars of the Stars spinoff. I'm being very, very cautious. Like, cautious optimism because I've said it before. I got way too optimistic for Steven Universe Future, and then that show disappointed me entirely. I did not end up liking that show almost at all. There's like one episode that I enjoy in Future. Maybe going back, I've only watched through it like twice. So maybe going back when I end up covering them during Gemology, I will find something that I like more. But as it stands, I didn't like Future, and I'm being way, way, way more cautious with how much I'm looking forward to Lars of the Stars. I feel like if they're just gonna do Star Trek but Steven Universe, I would be happy. What if Steven bubbled all the humans on Earth? Where would he send them? Like, what if he sent them home? Would they still be on Earth? You know what the biggest complaint I heard about Lars of the Stars is that people are literally complaining that it's not going to be Steven focused. And I gotta say, why do people want more Steven focused stuff? Like, at all? Because Steven's... Listen, they ended his story 3 times. They ended it in Change Your Mind, they ended it in the movie, and then they ended it in future. Like, he's got... It's over. It's over, isn't it? Isn't it over? Why can't they move on? Yeah, he's a complete character. He's not a perfect character, there's no such thing, but... Interesting that they... Yeah, it's surprised they actually went for a non-Steven focused story. Interesting that they put his name in the title, though. I hope it ends up just being called Lars of the Stars and not Steven Universe Lars of the Stars, because calling it Steven Universe would be misleading, because there is no Steven. Hopefully. I hope there's just no Steven. I am gonna have to say that they're probably gonna do at least a cameo of Steven. There's no way they're gonna get through it without doing like a, you know how in like Better Call Saul they brought in Jesse and Walt just for like that one episode. Because they can't do a Breaking Bad spinoff without Walt and Wessie and Jolt. You know, Walt and Jesse. They that feels like a necessity. I feel like that's going to be the same case here, where they could go the whole series with 0 Steven, but they're going to have to bring him in. I don't think he's going to be in there very often, but again, there's no way to tell because all we have is a title. The universe will end. Well, if Steven dies, then the universe ends. Like, that's the universe bloodline. Literally, the universe ends. But not, like, literally, but the name universe ends with Steven, unless he has kids. Or Greg has more kids. I don't know. Rebecca literally just gave the people what they wanted for years, and now everyone's complaining. I don't know why I don't know why anyone's complaining, because all we have is a title. I don't get it. There's 0 information other than a title and like a short 1-sentence description about it. I don't understand the logic there. Would Steven kids also have gems? I don't know. If they do, they would only have the one. Maybe, unless there's some magic bullshit that lets him create new gems out of that. Look at this thing's ass while it's reforming. You ever? I didn't notice this in the... It's got a bit of a dumpy. I mean, it's that, like... human or humanoid form on the bottom and then the monster form up top. It's nasty looking. Reverse centipede mermaid. Damn! Yeah, I agree. Nobody talks about Centipedal's ass. Here I am, breaking new ground. Kind of hoping we don't see Steven in the show at all. I agree. I feel like his story... I think that was Rebecca Sugar's own words, is that his story is done. Someone said that this... I heard actually a couple comments. I didn't know why it reforms to like a little dog size. And a couple people said... that it saw him scared, so it reformed small. And I have to say, I disagree. I feel like it can't... I feel like it can't consciously see him while taking a form, but I don't know. Because it looks down, like, in surprise that it's shrinking. Like, it doesn't have the energy to take a large form. It also reminds me of horror from Nuclear Throne. Which, I think, if I'm not mistaken... Hold on. Did Nuclear Throne come out before Steven Universe? It did not. Okay, maybe I'm misremembering. But if any of you have played the game Nuclear Throne, there's this guy. Let me get a picture of him. Why I hate fandom.com. It sucks ass. I can't get a good picture to show on stream. I just want to show my funny little horror character. Little rad creature. Yeah, rad is in radiation. Exactly. You know it. Can I just open this image? Open image in new tab. There we go. Okay. This guy. I mean, can kind of see the resemblance. It's just the spiky teeth mouth, like the fact that it's like open mouth. It doesn't have actual like teeth. Fandom has started sending me to a website which doesn't exist. That's weird. I like this design though. I like the design of like creature with like spiky mouth, but it's kind of cute looking. I wonder if horror was kind of a inspired by, what do you call it? The mouth, the little legs, the hair tuft, and flame. Yeah, it's... Can I share a link in chat? I think you can. I don't know if YouTube like blocks it automatically, but you've got permission to send links if it's something to share. Is there any other instances where corrupted gems are tamed other than the centipedal? I think the when what's her name? I always say what's her name when I talk about Jasper. Jasper like captures, she has like her own zoo of corrupted gem monsters and like somewhat like not tames one, but like aligns with one long enough to fuse with it. They're not like tamed, but they're still, they're like on her side, more or less. Jasper played Pokemon in real life. Yes. Peridot manages to get friendly with one for a moment. That's what I don't know how to say her name, but that's what they said, is that the tongue monster, the one with like a million tongues in its mouth, and Peridot like tries to befriend it. In that whole that episode, that was an homage to old Wile E. Coyote cartoons. I'll probably say this again when I get to that episode. I think that episode didn't work quite as well as it could have. Partly because it was Steven's point of view, so he had to be there. The other part being that they talk the whole time. I don't know if any of you have watched Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoons, but there's zero dialogue in those. And I think the talking ruined the, at least for me, it kind of ruined the vibe. Nephrite's humanoid corrupted form will always be my favorite. Someone also said, I missed it. Wait, where was it? Someone said something about Nephrite joining Lars. I cannot... Oh yeah, someone said, I hope Lars randomly recruits Nephrite for no reason, because... Damn it, we've known about her for years now, but we still don't know shit about her beyond a surface level. I agree with that. I feel like that was wasted potential in future. Like, why did we spend time with these... again, towny episodes when we could have had fucking some backstory or some, like, Steven reconnecting with, like, the first gem that he tried to heal. That would have been way cooler than anything we got in future. But that's not what they were doing for future, and everyone tells me that it's... You don't get it because it's supposed to be realistic. But I don't want realistic, I want a cartoon. If they don't do a Nephrite thing in Lars of the Stars, I'd be shocked. If she's gonna be like, well, I've always been like a captain, I could be on your ship and be your frickin' advisor or whatever. We might see a variety of Nephrites. Yeah, but I want that Nephrite. I want that this one, this specific centipedal one. And I also think that there's no way we won't see more Emerald. I feel like Emerald is one of the most interesting characters that never appeared again. I think I mentioned it a while ago in a previous stream, but I have this desire at some point, and there's been zero planning going into this yet. But I want to create a Steven Universe wiki that's independent of fandom, because I think fandom sucks, and I want to burn all of their data centers so I don't have to ever see that website ever again. Fandom is an ad site with a side of wiki. My point exactly. And it's borderline unusable. You go on fandom right now, you go on any wiki, and you get, like, not only ads, but you get links to other wikis. Like, I went on the Steven Universe wiki, and it's showing me, like, here's a link to the Jurassic Park wiki. I'm like, I'm not here for Jurassic Park. Or like Cartoon Network, it's like, here's all other Cartoon Network shows. It's like, no, I don't care. Borderline, yeah, you're right. I could just go right now. I feel like I should do some planning on that, but I'd have to probably talk to a lot of the current staff, like, that are running the Steven Universe wiki right now. I don't know if anyone is active in that community yet, but I wouldn't do any editing and I wouldn't do any admin. I just want to, like, front the bill to have to never go on fandom again. I would much rather just pay money to host it. I'll pay, like, the Amazon Web Service frickin' bills to host it and like have my ad revenue money go toward that and have to never go on fandom again. I think that I would love that. It's a nightmare. That whole website is crazy. I love that. Okay, I didn't say this in the episode or in the video. I love how goopy they make these like liquids in this show, and they're all so goopy, and it's all cool looking. Like, this is intentionally gross, and I think they did it really well to make it just like sticky and like gross, slimy acid looking. Goopy everywhere. Yeah, she's a fucking mess. She's like a basset hound. I don't know if a basset hound is what I'm thinking of. Hold on. No, I don't. No, basset hounds aren't goopy. What am I thinking of? Like a Saint Bernard. Yeah, Saint Bernard. You know that movie Beethoven with the dog? That's what I'm thinking of. I don't know why I was thinking a hound. That's not right. I feel like I would want a dog someday, but in my current position, I got a lot of animals already. I got a cat and 3 ducks. And I live alone in a yard not big enough to have like a big ass dog. If I had the space and I had the money, I would get not a Great Dane, a German Shepherd. That's my favorite dog breed. What are the ducks' names? They're not pets, they're livestock, so they don't actually have names. And I intentionally did that, and I'm glad I did because I've had several die. And I didn't get too attached to them, so I wasn't too devastated when it happened. I had one killed by like an owl or something during the night. It was crazy. Fellow duck haver, holy shit! I've never met a fellow duck haver on the internet in the wild. It's crazy. I did say my sub goal whenever I get to what do you call it? Whenever I get to 20,000 YouTube subscribers, I'm going to get on stream and I'm just going to have a duck, like, live. That's my sub goal. A lot of chickens, or a lot of, yeah. Nan has chickens and a lot of them have been killed by local foxes, yeah. Am I going to cook them? No, I have them for eggs. Because duck eggs are... The reason I got ducks instead of chickens was because ducks lay more eggs per year and larger eggs than chickens. Also, we're talking ducks while looking at a seagull. It's kind of related. They both got bills and webbed feet. A farm animal rescue. Oh, that's cool. I'd love to volunteer for one of those someday. Or, like, start my own. And if I do have more land, I would totally get a goose, because geese are, like, good guardian animals for ducks. But I have a cat, and his name is Steve. Unrelated to the TV show in question. Whoa, I didn't notice this. There's actually a shot where her face isn't entirely covered up. Oh, the Easter and Christmas gift birds. I had this whole thing written out. I was planning on doing a video about this at some point. On like a different channel, not on my main one, but it's like why you shouldn't get a duck. So first of all, you shouldn't get one duck or like one chicken. I feel like that's just cruel. Like it's considered, if you get a guinea pig, they almost always tell you to get more than one because they're social animals, and if you get only one, then you're kind of, it's like cruel. It's like depriving them of their natural thing, their natural enrichment. And it's the same with ducks and chickens. They're not pack animals, but they're social animals. They need other, unless you're gonna give a duck like a full attention every day, all day, they're gonna need other ducks to be around. So yeah, I think the people who get ducks and bunnies and chickens as like gifts, it's kind of shitty. People don't do their research. These are like living creatures that have their own needs. I think that goes for any animal, though. I think people who give like dogs and cats for presents, it's like, well, you gotta really know if the person you're giving wants that and can take care of that. Also, Steven's like really short in this shot. Can't wait for you to get to Rose's scabbard because there's so much symbolism with this painting. Probably the most in one episode apart from the one from Future. Yeah, there's a ton of, like, especially when it falls off the wall and Pearl's going fucking, she's crashing out. Not to use brain rot phrases, but I feel like that's a good description of it, where she's like freaking out about it, and the painting falls off. It's like Rose is rolling in her grave, basically. Why is it Steven who's small or the centipedal who's like huge? Garnet catching it represents her taking Rose's place as the leader of the Crystal Gems. I can agree with that. I don't think that's reaching too much. That seems like a reasonable take. Again, I don't for Gemology, I don't want to try to lean into like symbolism too much, because that ends up just being entirely like my interpretation of the show, where I'd rather just talk about the show itself. But I feel like in cases like that where it's a very clearly supposed to be symbolic, I will definitely mention those. But there's a lot of cases in the show where stuff like probably isn't supposed to be symbolic, like, oh, the centipedal destroying fucking Amethyst Torta is symbolic of the Amethyst feeling fucking, I don't know. There people, it's this like English teacher syndrome that people get, where they think that everything is a symbol or a theme or a metaphor. Sometimes the curtains are just blue. Hello Internet, welcome to Gem Theory. In this video we're going to be talking about symbolism. That's also the kind of the thing everyone keeps telling me to watch those the gem placement videos, where one of my excuses that I didn't watch them is that the scripts, they very much seem AI generated to me. It just doesn't, those videos just didn't vibe with me very much. Plus the voices are AI. I don't want to sit through and listen to AI voices, but I also think that it's rampant speculation. It's like, well, here's these set of characteristics that this one gem with this other gem placement this one gem has with this one gem placement, and here's also these traits that this other gem with the same placement shares. But also, I'm cherry picking, and there's a lot of characteristics they don't share, you know? And there's a lot of characteristics that gems with different placements do share. It's like, well, I don't think the placements are as symbolic as some people think they are, or that specifically that YouTuber. Oh, what is this? Ugh. Why does she have like a Pinocchio joint on her hand? "30% of speculation on what the implications and meanings of certain colors and placements are onto something, and the rest is just throwing darts." Yeah. I think I couldn't have worded it better myself. Her hand is also floating. You notice this? Her hand is... Okay, this is a weird shot. Her... let's scroll that back a little bit. Okay, she gets down. Her hand is like floating because her knee is way lower here. It's also freakishly huge. Like, that's not Pearl's hand. That's like a fucking master hand from Super Smash Bros. Melee. It's huge. And then it like, oh, okay, I see why it has, it's like covered up. It's masked weird, and then it like phases back into normal size. I think this is also makes more sense because she's leaning and her arm is getting like closer to the camera. That seems realistic, but that's a weird animation error that I did not notice before. It's just masked poorly or something. She's got the beach party hand foot type hand. That's weird. And then it morphs into like a normal shape. It's AI generated. Let's just look at the hands. Just look at them. No, it's not. It's not AI generated. They're just bad at drawing hands. I don't know. Whoa. That's a crazy angle. Well, also, okay, I almost freaked out about masking again, but that's just like the darker color outline for the centipedal. It's not black. They don't do that all that often in the show, to have a character's outline not be like totally black. So the hair outline on this is just grayish. AI sucks at hands for a reason. Yeah, because it's trained on real artists who all suck at hands. It kind of looks like she was wearing a Mickey Mouse glove. Yeah. Whoa! Okay, that's some weird foreshortening. It just looks like she has a really fucked up swollen hand right here. Yeah, wait, hold on. Someone pointed this out, that her Like, is this... Okay, yeah, this is the same pose as in the next shot. Where she has, like, her elbow up. Yeah. Also, I like the, I got one comment that was kind of a good excuse. Where is any light coming from in the cave? And apparently that was a thing Peter Jackson said when he directed Lord of the Rings. People asked, like, oh, where's the light coming from? And he said, the same place where the music is coming from. And that's a good excuse, that it's just media and it's not realistic because there's no actual light sources in this cave. But there's also no music sources, so you can't have one or the other. It's casual dead guy, yeah. They can't say that a character died, but they can show that a character died and his dead corpse. I'm gonna complain about that when we get to off colors and Lars or Steven brings it back to life and Lars is like, well, I was away from life, and he's like, no, you were dead. No one says away from life. It's just the stupid Cartoon Network censors saying that, oh, you can't say he died. You can't show him dying and say that he died in the same episode. Apparently. You mean I was unalive? Yeah. Can you imagine if they made it accurate so it was actually pitch black the whole scene? Well, they did that in the moon episode when they go to the moon with Peridot and all the gems have to turn their like gem lights on. So there's a way around it, is you just bring a light source. But that just requires more planning and animation. And I'll blame it on a season 1 thing, because they are pretty consistent about it. In like dark scenes, they have they use their gems as like flashlights. So is it weird that Steven doesn't react to a dead guy? Yeah. I mean, it's just a skeleton. Like, I've seen skeletons in Minecraft. He's probably thinking the same thing, like it's gonna get up and start shooting him, but there's no bow anywhere near him. Why did they just show a fucking dead guy in this episode? That's crazy. Maybe Steven is used to seeing dead guys from previous missions. I've always had this thought, like, did the crystal gems specifically, like, recruit human soldiers for the gem war when that was going on? Because I feel like if the entire war was just defecting, like, gems that have defected to the crystal gem side, that, like, even if they got like thousands of gems, like that would not be enough to go up against all of Homeworld, you know? So you would have had to get some humans in there. You thought they wore the armor Pearl showed. That's kind of what I think think about. Rose mentioned she'd fallen in love with other humans. Yeah, and that song that, It's Over, Isn't It? When Pearl says, I was fine with the men who would come into her life now and again. Also implying that Rose was not lesbian. Why doesn't he have any clothes? There's this weird, thing among archaeologists where people are like, well, why didn't they bury them with their clothes? And it's the fact that clothes rot away way quicker. Like, this is a nylon rope that's never going to deteriorate. This is a pickaxe with a wooden handle. That wood is frozen. It's never going to deteriorate. Actually, yeah, maybe if it is frozen, it should have If this cave is as cold as I imagine it, then yeah, there should be clothes here. But other than that, I can imagine this rope is nylon, i.e. plastic. This helmet is plastic. This pickaxe is a steel head and perhaps a plastic handle. I don't know. Is it entirely made of ice? It's, yeah, maybe. It could just be rock, too. I don't know. I mean, earlier in the episode, it was clearly, like, ice and snow. I think that was more surface level. But yeah, if it is ice, I don't know. It could just be fucking rock. Because I don't... You know, in, you ever been in a cave? Like, you get down, you go down only a little bit even, and it's like immediately like 40 degrees at like all times of the year. It's it's almost like never freezing once you get deep enough into the Did Pearl mention they didn't break the ice in case this place broke down? I would have to go listen to it. I purposely don't have the audio of the episode on stream because then it would most certainly get claimed. If the characters acknowledge it, it's suddenly inappropriate. Yeah, all they do is go, ugh, and then they move on, and the centipedal fucking, defaces its grave. Hear a lot of people say they miss Season 1 Garnet because after Season 1 her whole personality was entirely about being a fusion. Not naming names. Name names! We're here to name and shame. This is what this stream's all about. It's not, but I'm curious about who you mean because I don't know. I have heard that as well. Is it Lily Orchard? Is it that fucking hack fraud that just made up shit to get views? Sorry, don't sue me, but there's a lot of shit that's made up in those videos. Those are videos that did not age well. Yeah, okay. Just got whiplash from the Lily Orchard name drop. It's just, I don't know nothing about that person. I can't judge her on character, but god damn if those videos aren't just like entirely like clickbait and rage bait rather. I'm gonna guess it's on purpose, and if it's not on purpose, then she's entirely missing the point, and she could just, you know, turn around and say, well, this show isn't for me, and I saw plot holes in it, and I didn't enjoy those. Which I'll say about shows that I've seen, like I don't know. Picture in the dictionary next to bad faith, yeah. Fell victim to the Lily Orchard rage bait. A lot of videos calling her out for not being a good person. I would have no idea where to begin with that. All I know is that her content is dog shit. I'll say it. I do not care for Lily Orchard's videos. And not because I like Steven Universe. I will say there was a handful of criticisms in those videos that were, you know, had some basis, but mostly it was just rage bait. Insane MLP fanfiction. I gotta read some goddamn fanfictions on stream someday. I remember seeing this Avatar one, and I had a friend and I wanted to do like a reading of this weird Avatar fanfiction. I want to see the pearl, like the Princess Bubblegum pearl. Man, I should have made this a thumbnail. Shit. I could have made this the thumbnail for the stream. Maybe, you know what? Fuck it. I'm exporting this. Ah. Image, save as. Oh, you can't actually see what I'm doing here. I'm liking this Factorio. I haven't been to a lot of the planets in the Factorio DLC, but I don't know how audible the soundtrack that I'm playing is. It's pretty good. I feel like I'll just end up using this image for future thumbnails. I think it'd be funny. Like when I said that this is where Steven Universe stops being a Monster of the Week show. I mean, that's exactly true. Like the show ceases to be like a procedural, like funny fantasy show. Then it turns into this like high scale adventure, sci-fi adventure. Amongst critiques you have for characters like Garnet, do you have any for characters like Greg or Connie? I didn't really think of this before, and I have only really started holding this opinion recently, like within the past couple of years, that Connie kind of sucks. Like I every time I end up watching an episode following Connie, I just don't like her. I think her and Steven together are adorable, but Connie on her own as her own character is incredibly boring. And I think that's the point, because she's like the human, but then they kind of like backpedal on that and they want to make her more interesting by giving her a sword. I think Steven needed just a human friend as a character. I think Petey should have been justice for Petey, man. Hashtag justice for Petey. You like the Connie episode where she chews out her mom? That was decent character development. I think decent is the perfect word for that, because it's not like huge. It's not peak cinema. It's just decent character development. And then she's I think the entire reason that she's on Homeworld was for the scene where she fuses with Steven during the ball, and that's it. That's the only reason she was at Homeworld at all. Connie being mad at Steven was kind of warranted, especially since Steven did the same to her. But here's the thing about that is that Connie was forgiving about that shit when, like, he went into space to save his dad from the zoo. She was like, oh yeah, that was something you had to do. That's like your magical destiny or whatever. And then fast forward to a season later, and it's like, well, fuck you for leaving Earth and turning yourself in. That was shitty. And it's like, no, you're just flip-flopping. I don't know. Connie didn't want to leave her behind for another space mission. I think it's just like, I don't know, she also stole Lion, basically. She stole the through line for getting back to Lars, which is, like, imagine you get in a fight with your girlfriend and, like, your girlfriend leaves and, like, steals your dog. That's what I always saw it as. It's like, fucked up. Yeah, magical destiny. I think that pays off really well in Lion 4, where Steven, like, Connie's the only one to have kept saying magical destiny over and over. It's I'm gonna need some water in a little bit. But Connie keeps saying magical destiny, and Steven begins to believe it. And then when he finds the tape where he's Nora universe instead of Steven, then he, like, freaks out and he's like, all I'm supposed to be is just me, just Steven. It's like, well, yeah, there's no fucking magical destiny. Nobody said that except your dumbass friend Connie. Not to call her, yeah. I think Connie is a bad influence. Steven is not a bad influence on her, but she was a bad influence on him, I think. In a way. Steven just seen his friend die in space, but it's Connie that gets mad. Yeah, it's fucked up. Like, come on. Give the kid a break. He just watched this guy he's known his whole life fucking die in space. And he almost got stranded there. Goddamn. Lion 4 is so good. All the Lion episodes are good, except for the first one. When, like, the first Lion where he meets Lion, there's just a lot of standing around. I don't know. I said that in the video already. It's like, it's just Steven standing there, Lion standing there for half the episode. And they only ever do anything at the very end. She's a kid too, they ain't gonna be rational. Yeah. But if you said that for every interaction in every cartoon, then nothing would be logical. I feel like that's a cop-out. I mean, it works, yeah, but it's a cop-out. Okay, I'm gonna go fill up my water real quick, because I'm just gonna keep coughing if I am talking without anything to drink. I will be right back in 1 moment. Give me just a sec. I'm back. I'm hydrated. Make sure you're all hydrated too. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure your posture's nice. Like, relax your shoulders. You know, don't like clench your jaw so much. Oh wait, wrong thing. You gotta relax your forehead, relax your jaw. Don't clench your jaw so much. Don't hold tension in your shoulders. You're gonna be sore the next day. Connie's the only person unaffected by everything that happens in the movie. Doesn't Connie, like, not show up in the movie at all? She shows up at, like, the very beginning, right? And then she's just not present for the rest of it. Connie, yes. Connie showed up in the movie for, like, 1 second. She's at space camp. She's a space cadet. That's like the best way to fucking... Or the best, like, excuse to not have a character there is... Just they're at camp. They went to a farm out east. Is space camp real? Like, I've never... What is space camp? Is that just like a fiction thing? Is that real? Has anyone been to a space camp? Can anyone prove to me that that's like a real thing that happens in real life? Because now I'm starting to doubt it. As a kid, I always thought when a character wasn't in an episode, I'd just think, oh, they're sick today. I mean, that makes sense. What do you call it? I was gonna say that... Oh, what was I gonna say? There was I worked with a kid, or I worked in a 4th grade classroom this year, and at one point, there was a staff member gone. This guy who, like, works with these kids. And he was just gone one day, and one of the kids, it was the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard. He, like, he said, oh yeah, he's AFK. I thought that was funny, because I've never heard AFK related to some, like, in relation to someone in real life. I don't know, I think that's funny. And I started using that. He's AFK. Space camp is a thing. Okay. It shows up too often to be fake, but I assumed an American thing. I also assumed an American thing because that does seem like a type of thing that you'd get from NASA. But I've never seen it. I don't know. I've seen, like, science camps before. I've seen, like, you know, invention kind of things where you're just building shit. Those are fun. I did one of those when I was, like, 6. But space camp? No. That's too crazy for me. I'm looking this up. Space camp. U.S. Space and Rocket Center. What about one near me? There's plenty of, like, STEM camps. There's no space camps. Do you have to live in fucking Cape Canaveral to get any of that? I feel like we're all suffering from a mass delusion of space camp being a real thing. This is like Mandela effect shit. I like that she's just stuck like this for a little bit. NASA, wait. The aviator uncle. I was gonna say Uncle Dick. It's not Uncle Dick. What is his name? That episode is such a nothing episode. I mean, it's like Andy, Uncle Andy, not Uncle Dick. She's still in this pose. Yeah, the only thing I really like about Gem Harvest is the fact that Andy is voiced by the same guy who played Carl in Aqua Teen, and he just is the same character. That's all I care about. Uncle Andy, a character they only introduced so they could use him to go to Korea. Yeah, you know how much fucking money Greg has? He could get first-class tickets to Korea in, like, an instant. I don't know why they needed Andy to fly his little fucking biplane over there. His bisexual airplane. You can't fly a little tiny-ass airplane like that over the fucking Pacific Ocean. Not only the Pacific Ocean, but, like, the entire continental United States before then. Did you know the guy who voiced, him and Carl from Aqua Teen, he was the creator of Aqua Teen. Like, he created and was the showrunner for that show. And then he played Uncle Dick. I mean, Uncle Andy. I mean, Carl. Do you think Greg has never flown before? Do you think he's never, like, been through TSA and was afraid of it? He doesn't want to go through the wiener scanner. Greg doesn't want to get his giant schmeat scanned. Listen, when I go through the wiener scanner in an airport, I'm proud of my giant schmeat. His universe charm. We'll call him Uncle Dick now. Oh, that gives me a great idea to, what do you call it? To, like, when I get to that episode in Gemology, I'm just gonna edit out every instance of them saying his name, so I can just call him Uncle Dick the whole time, and people who haven't seen the show just will never know. I'll just be spreading misinformation. It'll be the funniest thing you've ever seen. He's Uncle Dick. Come back from an ad and get hit with the wiener scanner. I'm talking about TSA. You ever been through airport security? Where you have to go through the wiener scanner, and they have to scan your wiener to make sure it's big enough to get on the airplane. Do many people watch without seeing the show? Not that I know of. I think I have a couple friends who haven't seen the entirety of Steven Universe, and they just watch a few of my videos, but other than them, I, like, tell them not to, because I say, well, I talk about, like, spoiler shit, and I do recommend, as many gripes as I have with Steven Universe as a whole, I do recommend, like, watching it. Garnet is fed up with Pearl's shit. We'll draw fan art of him and just put Uncle Dick in big bold letters at the top. Just for this episode. That would be amazing. It's a good show that's also fun to analyze. That's the point. That's why I started this series. I'm like, well, I will say, I've said it before. It's definitely heavily inspired by overanalyzing Avatar. So I'm just thinking to myself, what's a show that I've seen dozens of times that is, like, would be fun to analyze? And it's this one, because there's so many things, like, having watched the show all the way through, you start to notice things that you would never have noticed on a first or even second watch. And I end up watching one episode for Gemology. I'll watch through one episode at least 3 times. Which sucks for the episodes that I don't like. I think other people have tried to do like an overanalyzing Steven Universe before, but from what I could tell, like I did at least a little bit of research before I started this series. It seems like people got scared of like copyright, and they got claims and just weren't able to, what do you call it? They got like afraid to continue the series because they got claimed over and over. Which, yeah, my videos get claimed, but I just fucking dispute them, and then they release them. Because it's a review. It's fair use. Tend to rewatch BoJack Horseman for its hidden details and metaphors. I should rewatch that show at some point. I only watched it once all the way through. I kind of slogged through it. I didn't really like pay a ton of attention. Any episodes you were surprised had a lot of depth going back to? Kind of this one, Monster Buddies, but also the next one. An Indirect Kiss seems like it's just a one-off kind of thing, but it's like really character heavy. It's if anyone on Patreon, that one's already up on Patreon, so anyone who's seen that probably knows. But that's a super important episode. That's like an incredibly important episode to Steven's character, and I never would have guessed that on my first time around, or even like second. I'm trying to think of other ones. I'm gonna actually look at the Wikipedia list of Steven Universe episodes. I'm also gonna, while I'm on there, I'm gonna look at like what episodes are out of order from my files that I have. Garnet's knuckles are shaded weirdly. What? This one? Yeah, you're kind of right, where like the shiny white part is over on this side, where it should be on the opposite side. Yeah, you're actually 100% right. And yeah, these ones should be lighter than these ones instead of the other way around. It's weird. The star over the knuckle. I think that's normal, though. That seems normal. Yeah. This one may be a little bit less normal. I'm trying to think. Of the episodes that had more depth. I think Lars and the Cool Kids. I just like that episode. I don't think it's very story heavy though. And I'm actually more surprised at the episodes that are not as story heavy as I expected, as I remembered them. Specifically, Steven the sword fighter. Because it's like this big reveal when you find out that Pearl can fucking die, where she gets killed and is dead for 2 weeks. That's like this big deal, and it gets stuck in your head like that's an important episode, but it's really not, weirdly enough. Like, all that episode really revealed is that gems can, like, die and come back. Other than that, there's not a ton going on in that episode. It'd be cool if she could pop off the stars on her gloves like little shurikens. That would be neat. Instead of having her having the fucking rocket thing that she does in, I forget what episode. Yeah, she does it in the Watermelon Steven one, where her fucking her whole gauntlets shoot off. I think the stars shooting off would have been way neater. I thought it was an important episode because it was 3% of Steven's trauma. Here's the thing. Whenever Steven's trauma comes up, I have to try to remind people that Steven Universe Future was not planned as these episodes were coming out. That was an afterthought. That was a spin-off. Giving Steven trauma was not an intention in any of these episodes. Like, yeah, he's going to have trauma from some of these crazy events, but I don't think any of that was, like, planned from the beginning. So the importance is not quite there. Also, I don't like Future, so I'm a little biased there. What happened to Multiverses? I don't even remember. I know it got shut down or something. Can I, like, still download that game on Steam? Hold on. I haven't played that game in fucking 3 years. Last played August 1st, 2022. You know what? I don't think I played it since it was in beta. When did it come out? It died? Did it die or did they shut it down? Oh, you can't even get it from the Steam store. Shit. That sucks. It's just Warner Brothers taking down all their good games. Actually, I think I did play it when it launched and it was just not fun. I feel like they improved it over time and I missed all of that. It just wasn't fun when it released. Live service games, yeah. There's, you guys know about the Stop Killing Games movement? Where people are trying to get companies to not... what do you call it? To not, like, shut games down, or at least give consumers the ability to run back-end servers so the games can run forever. I don't know why companies can't just, like, release server files and say, hey, we're shutting this game down, but, like, here's the servers if you want to fucking continue playing. Or, like, a live service game, I think you could call this a live service game. Deep Rock Galactic has a server structure where you can just connect directly to other players. It's peer-to-peer. One person hosts, and other people can join them. And there's no, like, central server. You can just play that game. If they ever just decide to shut that game down, you can still play it forever. No profit incentive. That's the sad truth. Well, the profit incentive is to just build goodwill for future customers. But, you know, it's Warner Brothers. They don't know anything about the long term. Other companies are better at it. There's, even Nintendo. As much shit as I'll talk about, I despise Nintendo with a burning passion. I will never buy a Nintendo console until they release Smash Melee on Steam. That's my caveat. They released Pocket Camp, you know, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, as like a full game that you just, it's a one-time purchase and you can download it. That's really good, because that was a live service game that they were shutting down, and they decided to put up an alternative. Like, yeah, hell yeah. Warner Brothers burned the Goodwill Bridge a long time ago. They burned like every Goodwill Bridge. But the thing is, you can try to rebuild those, but they just don't care. They don't know anything. Again, they don't care about the long term. They just care about short-term profits and fucking write-offs. Mike, going back, yeah, my stipulation for ever buying a Nintendo console again is they need to release Super Smash Bros. Melee on PC. Which is never gonna, which is basically me saying that I will never buy a Nintendo console again. She looks like a battle bot? Wait, how? Just the spinning? Oh yeah, like a spinning battle bot. She's just a sprinkler, I think. Like a yard sprinkler for some reason. Oh, you know what it is? It's the saw. Like the hair looks like a saw blade. I get it. I understand now. Negative chance of that happening. Yep. Exactly. I just don't think it's kind of the same thing with Disney for me, that like there aren't any Disney movies coming out that are good enough for me to like want to go to the theaters. And I mean like Disney. If it's there's occasionally Marvel stuff that's good, which I will, you know, reward the company for things that are good, and then not reward them for things that are shit. Like, who's gonna go see what's that one that everyone said had like an AI generated script? Yeah, ask CEO John Nintendo to put Melee on Steam. I also don't like the live action stuff that they're doing. I am especially mad at DreamWorks for doing a live action How to Train Your Dragon, and How to Train Your Dragon is my favorite animated movie of all time. And like, if you're gonna do a shot-for-shot remake of an animated movie that was already like one of the greatest animated movies ever, why would I not just go watch the original? Come on. Same about, yeah, How to Train Your Dragon. That's something I had zero interest in seeing. I mean, the case is always there. The original will always exist. Unless you're Star Wars. Unless you're fucking George Lucas, who went out of his way to, like, destroy and, like, stop circulating the original copies of Star Wars. No, now that sucks. Now that's, like, the killing games. Studios killing games. hate to see it turn into a cash grab. I've actually never read any of the How to Train Your Dragon books. That was a little bit after my time. I love the movie. I also saw the movie late. I never saw that one in theaters. I had when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I had a 3D TV, and I was looking up, like, what are the best movies to watch in 3D, and I'll, like, find a Blu-ray for them. And How to Train Your Dragon, Avatar and How to Train Your Dragon are two of the greatest movies to ever watch in 3D. If you ever have the chance to see those in 3D, it's well worth it, especially Avatar, and especially on a huge screen. There's that, like, fan Star Wars project that... What was it? Like, the like, unremastered or something like that? Where they kind of, like, did a fan... Like, a fan remaster of the original. Someone had it on, like, Laserdisc or something. Despecialized edition. Yeah, that's the one. I forgot what it was called. I gotta watch those someday, because I've heard that's, like, the best way to watch original Star Wars. I do know someone who has original Star Wars on VHS, and I'd love to see that. That would be fucking awesome. Instead of remaking movies, companies should just get theaters to stream the originals, to screen the originals again. Can make new merch to sell. You know what they should do, and I've been saying this for years. I don't know how feasible it is because I'm not an animator, but they should do, like, all of these older movies that, older 3D animated movies that released when 3D animation was still, like, really rough, like Toy Story and Shrek and even How to Train Your Dragon to an extent. They have all this new technology for, like, lighting and fucking shaders and graphics and stuff. They should just remaster those. Like, that would be incredible. The Incredibles remastered. Imagine it. Again, I don't know how feasible it is because, especially for Toy Story's case, I think they were using software that just does not exist and does not run on current computers anymore. Yeah, just like an high-quality remaster. Let me see if I can find the, I don't know how many of you have seen Miraculous Ladybug. But they did, like, a style change at some point. There was a point, I think it was between seasons, they made a movie, and then they just decided to have the movie style be the style of the show. And it was like basically a remaster, like it's an art retcon, but it just looks... It's using, like, new lighting and new shaders and all sorts of cool new shit. Okay, I'm gonna open image in new tab. I'm gonna show some, like, comparison. See if I can compare this. Where's a good, like, equivalent to this shot? Man, I don't know how to show this because it's impossible. But anyway, that show got a cool art redo. I fell behind. Yeah, here's the thing. Miraculous Ladybug is, I don't know if it's greenlit this far, but it's planned for 12 seasons. And I think they're on 6. No, they're on 5. No. I think they're on 5. Let me see. Or maybe I'm stupid, but I believe the show is like incredibly cheap to produce, and or it makes a fuck ton of money through toys. Yeah, season 6. Okay. Wish more movies like Klaus came out. The evolution of 2D animation, like how 3D started to evolve and change. Wasn't Klaus 3D? Was it not, or am I misremembering it? I never watched Klaus. I should. I don't have Netflix anymore, so there's no legitimate way for me to watch it. Klaus was entirely 2D. That's crazy. I do like the blending of 2D and 3D more. They did that, again, going back to Miraculous Ladybug. I like that show, I'll admit it. I'm a fucking Ladybug apologist. I know the show is dog shit, but I still like it. They started blending more like 2D like effects and drawings and stuff into the 3D environments. And they kind of look good. Like if there's like a lightning strike, it's like hand drawn. It's kind of cool. Pearl is not having my shit right now, though. She does not care for Miraculous Ladybug. You gotta stop watching these kids shows. Shows for little girls. It's like the brony fandom all over again. Arcane is a masterclass for that 2D 3D mix. I think Arcane, I haven't seen it, but from what I heard, it is kind of a nightmarish like workflow to get that show to exist at all. It's like a miracle that show, it's rather it's a witchcraft, haha, magic. That show exists at all, because none of the lighting and shaders were done in the editor. They're all done, like the lighting and shading and stuff is all done by hand, while the animation and staging and settings and all that is done via 3D software. It's fighting against itself the whole time, but it's beautiful. You know what? The result speaks for itself, so I can't complain. I've never actually seen it, though. But again, there's got to be a way for them to streamline that stuff for future productions. Did you notice that the chaps turns to chumps when the bag flips over and gets knocked on the ground? They're chumps now. I'm hungry for some chumps. It is kind of sad to think that like 2D movies are essentially dead, because they're just not recyclable. I've heard that described before, is that a 3D movie will come out and then they will still have all these models and assets stored for sequels and spin-offs and all sorts of stuff. Chumps is a funny gag, not an error. I never said it was an error. I said it just turns into chumps. I don't know why it turns into chumps, but it does. The only stuff that's 2D nowadays is indie stuff. It's either indie or stuff that's on TV and outsourced to Korea or Japan or China for animation. Man, I'm trying not to eat, like, junky, food like this. I don't want to just be eating potato chips all day, even though it's delicious. But man, do I want some potato chips. I gotta, like, not eat so many carbs all the time. That's not what a seagull can do. Well, chaps are like a reversible chip brand, maybe. You can either have chaps, which is like intense. It's like, whoa, you got chaps. Hell yeah. Or you just want to be mellow and you just want to have chumps. You walk into the party with a bag of chumps and people are like, Man, you should have brought something better, and then you just turn the bag around. No, I got chaps, dude. Nah, dude. I brought fucking chaps. Radical. Hell yeah. I still can't rotate in this window. Writing fictional commercial now. I should use this time to mention that in the description of every video and every live stream there is a link to a Discord server. If you guys want to like make creative stuff and like send it, there's a channel for that. That strange jingle that Steven sings? Is there a Chaps jingle? I'm looking this up. Hold on. I don't know. Oh, I love chips. You love chips. Okay, I didn't realize that that was a. I didn't realize that that was like a jingle, like a commercial. I also don't know why he calls it a brand of chaps in a future episode. In what is it? Letters to Lars. Probably just meant flavor. It's strange though. I feel like it's one of those genericization, like saying Band-Aid or Kleenex. Could have brands within the brands. I suppose like Mountain Dew can have like Code Red, what is it? Voltage, Overdrive if you're from the Midwest, if you know anything about Mountain Dew Overdrive, it's one of the better ones. Baja Blast, Baja Flash. Like I suppose that works. Like Baja is a bland brand. It's a brand. Baja Blast is my favorite Mountain Dew. That region of the US that calls any soda Coke. I forgot about that. Why does Coke refer to so many different things? Like, Coke is a soda, but Coke is also like a fuel that's made from coal. But Coke is also a drug. Like cocaine. But Coke does not refer to crack cocaine. Like, no one calls crack Coke. I should stop talking about drugs before I got demonetized. It's all the same Coke. I know Coca-Cola was made... the name is from the fact that it had cocaine in it in its original recipe until it was outlawed, and then they put caffeine in instead. Man, what I'd give to live in, like, the 1910s and have cocaine in my Coca-Cola. You ever heard that joke where guy walks into a bar and orders rum and Coke, and the bartender says, "Is Pepsi okay?" He says, "Yeah," and he just starts dumping Pepsi and Coke into one glass. Good joke. End of joke. I can't do jokes unless I have the like setup. If I have the right delivery. I gotta prepare my delivery. I don't think I'd be good at stand-up because of that. I'm back to Pearl doing her face. Let's look at this guy. Hold on. We never looked at the funny Laramar? Laramie? Why do gem parts fall off? How can gem parts, like, be severed off? It's weird. I don't even know what a Laramar is. It's a silicate mineral. So, not a crystal. Or is it? Okay, it's not an opal. It looks vaguely like an opal, but it's not. It's an actual, like, mineral. And not an amalgam. My family's a pop household, and I say soda. I say soda, but I live in a pop part of the United States. I don't know. I think just pop is weird. Pop means other things. I guess soda means other things. No matter what you call it, there's no, like, good word that doesn't have, like, multiple meanings. I'm just realizing that now. If you say soda, it's like, oh, it's like baking soda, or washing soda, or soda water. But if you say pop, well, it could mean your pop. I guess that's like the less. There's not as many weird meanings to that. My brain has been stuck on the limb thing for days since I watched the last Gemology. I think this is an error. If I had to guess, there's cases where this is like yeah, that's probably not That's probably not, like, real. It's probably an error the same way that the fucking bubble is an error. That it's... They backpedaled on that. Like, I don't know. Does it happen again after this episode, other than when Garnet gets fucking electrocuted in The Return? I don't think it does. Yeah. So I think they backpedaled on the idea that anything can be severed off of a gem, even hair. You're thinking it could be the arm that was made of ice and it's an ice shell, but then it all poofs together. Yeah, that's saying that it's a part of its body. It's very strange. Also, the gem isn't visible, but there's like this thing here that you can kind of see the gem when Garnet breaks it. There it is, yeah. It's very weird. This is a weird gem monster that only shows up for like a minute. And Garnet has mittens. She's cold, come on. She's got to have her mittens instead of her gauntlets. It's like embedded in there, yeah. There's not really any other gems where that happens, is there? They're all surface mounted. Oh wait, maybe the fucking worm in Bubble Buddies? Do you remember that one where the gem is like in its throat or whatever? Kendrick Laramar. No clue what's going on with the giant woman bird. I think the giant woman bird is made up of little tiny gems. I don't know if they're shards, but it's a fusion of some sort. Maybe that's what the full gem looked like, and the only way for it to take its normal form was to fuse with every shard. Then it also had all those gems inside. It's very strange. Yeah. Yeah, it was fitting to show. I don't think anyone noticed it when that episode came out, but that gem monster was a fusion in the episode that introduces fusions. It's cool. Also, the mysterious door. Where's the mysterious door? There it is. The mysterious door. I wonder what's behind the mysterious door. Can we also talk about Steven and the Stevens? Oh yeah, I forgot. I should pull that one up. I think I will do that real quick. Pardon me while I close this one. Steven and the Stevens. Yeah, because I had to do surgery on my computer. That's my excuse. I actually did do surgery on my computer because I needed to, I couldn't stream. Like, I updated some graphics stuff, and all of a sudden OBS wasn't recognizing my graphics card. So I ended up just getting a new graphics card that was not NVIDIA because NVIDIA sucks cock and balls. On Linux, at least. They're pretty good on Windows, but I don't use Windows. I use Debian. Give me 1 second. It's still showing the last frame of what I had previously. Pardon the interruption. Anyone who says this is an important episode is lying to you. Let me get this fixed. Hold on. Can I... It's not showing up. Okay. Properties. Here we go. Steven in the Stevens time. I accidentally killed myself in GTA 5. Let's talk about hourglasses. I think this is the time to talk about hourglasses. I just read the chat about the door, that it was just painted on so Wile E. Coyote could run into it. That's good. I accept that headcanon. The hourglasses are crazy. I mean, you got like sci-fi Dune floating hourglass here. Let me back up a little bit so I can see. Oh wait, this is like the very beginning. Also, I didn't pause on this frame. I like this frame where Pearl's got like her goofy face. If it was important, I would never stop complaining about time travel. It has never made a story better. What about Back to the Future? Back to the Future, the whole story is time travel. I guess if you have a story and you add time travel, then yes, then it makes it shit. But if the story is built around time travel, I can see it being different. It has to be much better planned out, though. Who flipped all of these? Like, before they got here, who flipped all of the hourglasses so they'd be running? Have you ever heard about Back to the Future the musical? I have not. Is it good? Maybe they reset by themselves. I do think that this whole area... Okay, actually, fuck it. I'm doing headcanon time. I might have to, like, write this out because it's, like, really stupidly complicated in crackpot theory. I don't delve into crackpot theories in the videos, but I'll do it for the stream because I think it's fun sometimes. But I'm gonna say, I think that this temple, this fucking underwater thing that they go to for this episode, this like cathedral looking thing, was here before a colony was established on Earth. I'm not reading chat. I'm gonna go through my whole fucking spiel before I read chat. This thing was built to house the time thing as like a way to hide it and protect it and get it away from anyone who it would fall into the wrong hands and end up becoming this episode, basically. It would devolve into chaos. I think this structure was built before there was a colony on Earth, perhaps thousands, maybe millions of years before, because you'll notice that there's no diamond imagery. And if it's a crystal gem structure, then why the fuck did they not use the time thing during the war? That does explain why they didn't use it in the history of Pink Diamond, all that. It's even possible that this thing was put here before Pink Diamond existed. In my headcanon, in my like mind reality. What else? But yeah, they developed this crazy technology, and they had this crazy, rather magical device, and they hid it away like you do with a crazy magical device, you know, Indiana Jones style. And then nobody thought about it for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and maybe there was no record of it, just so other gems would never find it. And then they made a colony on Earth thousands of years later, and everyone forgot that this was even here. And then the crystal gems ended up finding it. So yeah, I think, again, there's no diamond imagery, and there's no logical reason that the crystal gems wouldn't have already had the time thing. So I do think this was like pre-Era 1 gem stuff, if that makes any sense. Like before there were 4 diamonds, before there were even 3 diamonds even. Era 1 is fascinating, and yeah, I think there would be interesting... It would be interesting to see what it was like before there was an Era 1. Like, I feel like like, Gem Empire, there were just white, yellow, and blue diamonds, and no pink diamond. And for a long time, they just kind of had their one planet. And then they decided, as soon as there was a 4th diamond, they decided, well, we should make an empire or some shit. I don't know. Or this episode isn't canon at all, which is entirely possible. I don't really understand how a pre-Diamond Authority society could exist. Gem society could exist. I don't know either. I feel like there would have been... If the diamonds exist, and the diamonds... I think the idea of the diamonds was that they kind of just spontaneously existed. Like, what's there to stop other gems from spontaneously existing? Or maybe even there were some, like... Maybe we're dealing with, like, like, lower gems creating gods, and that's how the diamonds came to be. Like, there was a gem society before the diamonds, and then they decided, well, we need these... We should create... If we know how to create more gems, we should create, like, the gems. Like, the top dogs. My crackpot idea is the moon goddess type stuff we see mentioned early in the show. Could be recontextualized as pre-Diamond Authority gem culture. I like to imagine that there is, like, even more ancient gem stuff than what we see in the show. Because 6,000 years is not ancient. In relatively, of course. Like, we have no idea how far back the Era 1 goes. It could be like 1,000,000 years even. But I am starting to subscribe to my own crackpot theory of like creating gods, creating the like lower gems, creating the diamonds with the intention of like creating a super race or whatever. Or some other alien species that was just fucking around with magic. There's got to be other aliens out there with magic, and then they ended up creating these fucking magical super beings that ended up surpassing their own creators and creating their own race and empire and all that shit. But that's just a theory, a germ theory. I'll continue on though. Let's take a zoom in. We have this opportunity right here to zoom in. I like the sideways one, the one that's like a pill on its side. And a couple reused designs like the oh, what the fuck is this thing? What is that? It's like a double bubble. I always thought it made sense for White to be an alien AI that went Skynet for her creators, or on her creators, and actually won. I like to imagine that, though. I hate to think of them as, like, AI or technology. Maybe they're golems. You know the story of the golem in Judaism. That it was like this person made out of clay and that came to life. I don't know anything about Judaism. I just know that the golem exists. You know, magic shit. They're constructs. I guess not AI, but constructs. They're not like robots. It's still magic. There's no disputing that this show is like all gem stuff is magic. Not all of it. Maybe some of it's like electricity, but magic recontextualized, I'll use that word again, as technology. I don't like Pearl from directly behind. I think I've said that in a previous episode. I figure they're like parasites that conquer and reproduce for the sake of it. So like viruses. There's a reason that the gem injectors look like bacteriophages. Because nobody knows why viruses exist. They just exist. She is Pearl the egg. Sufficiently advanced magic is indistinguishable from technology. Exactly. That's the logic in my, every time I run a D&D or any, like, fantasy RPG campaign, is that any technology that exists is actually magic. Like gunpowder? Nah, that's like ghosts. The sun is a spirit of a, that's like, it's the soul of someone's wife in a sword. And if you find that sword, then you can control the sun. I don't fucking know. How do magnets work? Definitely magic. Well, yeah, because it's like magic. Like you get a magnet, you put it next to some metal, and it like stays there. That's like, what else can that be? It's fucking magic. Do you think humanity would be happier if we just accepted stuff like that as magic? Like any like mystery of physics? We just say, oh, that's just magic. Like, this is how it works. We know how it works. We can utilize it. But how does it work? How? Who cares? It's magic. I think that for, like, a lot of magic systems, too. I feel like people try to dissect fictional magic systems a lot. And it's like, I don't understand why people bother doing that, because the answer is that it's magic. A wizard did it, yeah. Remember early, before we knew much about the homeworld gems, pictured gems being, or taking humanoid forms only as a going to Earth thing. And on their planet, they'd be all sorts of funny shapes. That's like angels, right? In a gun to go to like biblical things, like the biblically accurate angels, and versus the there's points where like angels present themselves as like humanoid, just human looking people, and they're just like being messengers. But if an angel appears to you in its true form, then you're fucked. I was robbed of biblically accurate diamonds. That's fucked. I feel bad for myself and you and everyone who was robbed of that. Gem colors show different personalities according to Rebecca. I don't like ever seeing the phrase according to Rebecca or according to XYZ show staff, because if it's not in the show, then I have trouble believing it. If a show staff, I've said this millions of times before, but if someone who works on the show, even Rebecca Sugar herself, says something is true, I choose not to believe it until it's actually in the show. Because if it's not in the show, it doesn't matter. And I don't want to have to do homework to like learn facts about it. What is this thing? Whoa. Lapis and Sapphire have pretty different personalities. That's a good point. You can cherry pick like personality similarities all day, but personalities between characters, especially characters in this show, are going to be so diverse that boiling it down to just that they're blue or fucking green, that's boiling it down too much. That's oversimplifying it. I think that's not doing favors to the writers that work hard to make these characters enjoyable and believable and well, like just to make them good. She's so proud of herself. Dissolution? I've never heard that. I've heard disillusion. Hold on, I'm looking that up. I understand what... Okay, dissolution. Closing down or dismissal of an assembly. Okay. That makes sense. It's the janky one. I love the janky. Janky is such a good word. I went with a friend today. We went to... there's this spot near where I live that's like under a highway where there's a trail that goes right near it. And there's all these like pillars where the highway's propped up. And there's just graffiti everywhere. And I occasionally just go there to see like new graffiti that gets put up, and some of it's really good and some of it's actual dog shit. And one of the tags was just jank, and I appreciated that one. I think I have a picture of it. I'll have to show it. Every one of those hourglasses that can't be set flat on its top is offensive to me personally. So like this round one, this one with a round top can't be flipped at all. It would just topple over. Or this one that I was looking at earlier. I like this weird janky one here. This one you could flip, but then all the sand gets stuck in... Wait. No, the sand would never go back into this side. Huh. Let's get a final look at this, all of these before they get flipped over or they get destroyed in the waterfall. Why is this one so weird looking? It's sideways. It's a pill on top of like a garden gnome. That's not a garden gnome, but I don't know. They want you to buy the specifically designed hourglass holder. You're right. You gotta get... It's like buying a fucking iPhone and not getting a charger. Or not getting a headphone jack, so you have to buy the adapter or buy their fucking Bluetooth headphones. I don't like Apple or Samsung that's doing that shit. So glad I didn't miss the hour-long hourglass discussion sesh. Yeah, I basically started up this episode. When did I start this? Like nearly an hour ago, right? And all I'm talking about is the hourglasses, like a half hour. Though I should say I do need to go and eat some dinner at some point. Look at these reactions. This is like three different reactions. It's awesome. Whoever storyboarded this did a great job. I had also this idea. I don't know how many of you here have played Dungeons and Dragons. When I said that the time thing is a magic wishing device that makes you carry out your own wishes, it gave me the idea that every time in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that someone uses a wish, you know, wish is the spell that's like the spell to end all spells. It's the spell of all time. If you wish for something, you're gonna have to, like, do it yourself, if that makes any sense. Like, if you wish that, I wish I had 1,000,000 gold pieces, then you'd have to go... the wish spell would, like, take you somewhere, and you'd have to go through a dungeon to claim 1,000,000 gold pieces and give it to your current self or some shit. Or, like leave it in a conspicuous place that your future self could find it. I think wish would end up becoming a time travel spell in the way that I have it set up. But if a character wishes for something, they're gonna have to, like, do it. Because nothing comes for free, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna make my players carry out a wish if they're gonna make a wish. Somehow, the forces will all align to, like, have this happen. Like, even like, a bunch of guys will get, like, suddenly compelled or, like, possessed to fucking carry out this action. Like, a wish is not going to just happen without anything, without any, like, flair, you know? A certain anime involving wishes? Well, what is it? I hate to spoil... What? Is there an anime involving wishes? Adventure Time? You can't withhold... You can't withhold anime names from me. I need more anime to watch because I haven't watched anything good in a long time. The first wish scroll to be cast by a mortal was written in the blood of a dead god. That's cool. That's metal. Me when I withhold information because I'm bored. You know, when I'm bored, I just spread misinformation. I think that's more fun. No, I'm metal. Ah, you got it. You're metal. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I've never heard of that. Oh, I found it. No, I just looked up anime with wishes, and it's the first one. Okay. Casual gaslighting? Yeah, it's fun. Like, if I'm bored, it's like entertainment to just, like, say they announced a new season of Ed, Edd n Eddy. You know, they, like, Teen Titans Go is getting its 10th season. They announced Lars of the Stars, and, like, Ed, Edd n Eddy is coming back. I love that shit. My cat showed up. What do you want? I think he wants food at some point. I want food as well. Ed, Edd n Eddy has been off the air for a while, yeah. But in this landscape of reboots, I feel like it wouldn't be too difficult to, like, convince someone that they're doing an Ed, Edd n Eddy reboot. If Cartoon Network is, like, exclusively rebooting stuff. But Ed, Edd n Eddy, that's a show that I'd never want to come back. Because, it ended off so perfectly with the Big Picture show. The show ended wrapped up in a nice bow. And it's like, why would I want to mess that up? That was such a good ending. No more reboots ever right after the Steven Universe one is done. Yeah, that's the hypocrisy. I like to complain about reboots, but then when something I like gets rebooted, then I have to say that I am excited for it. But again, Lars of the Stars is something I'm being cautious about because I was disappointed with Future. So if Lars of the Stars isn't just like full-on Steven Universe Star Trek, then yeah. I don't know what I'll think. Again, it's a title and a description that is a one-sentence description is all we have for Lars of the Stars. I just want new shows. Cartoon Network hasn't greenlit a new show. They used to do like 4 a year. And now we've gotten like 1 in the past 5 years. What was that? There was one that like Unicorn Warriors Eternal or whatever was supposed to be a Cartoon Network show and they put it on Adult Swim. That one, I don't know. What was that modern... Cartoon Network as a network is dying. Yeah, there's a good reason that that Lars of the Stars is going to be on Amazon. They're not even putting it on HBO. Like, that's how you know. I feel like it's going to get treated better if it's not on HBO, because if it was, then they would just cancel it. I feel like Amazon is going to treat it much better. Ianu, that's the one that I was thinking of. Do I think Lars will get new powers similar to Lion's? Doesn't Lion only have like 2 powers? Other than the pocket dimension? He can walk on water and he can open a portal. The entertainment industry is in shambles. I think that's somewhat true, because there's still a scene of like indie stuff. Indie games, indie animations. You just can't do live action, like indie live action movies. Like that doesn't really exist because of how expensive like putting together an entire movie is. I learned that in college, is that doing an animation with one guy and some voice actors is entirely possible, but making a live action movie with one guy is actually impossible. It's just not ever happening. Do you think there could be a fusion between Steven and Lars? I hope not. I hope that Steven doesn't show up at all. I think I said that earlier in the thing, but we have Avatar 7 Havens to look forward to. I forgot about that. That's not Cartoon Network though, but I am excited for that. I much rather would see a new Avatar show. Indie animation is starting to blow up. I think yeah, like as much as I really don't like Has Been a Hotel, it's really paving forward for other indie animated projects to like become more mainstream. If indie games can go mainstream, like fucking, what do you call it, Hollow Knight, and even Power World is borderline an indie game. Like there's a chance that an indie animated project with like 10 people working on it. FNAF, Undertale, Deltarune. Minecraft was an indie game. Yeah, I can see a future for indie animation. Especially with tools. Like there's these new tools that are, I'm going to say the naughty word that everyone hates. They are AI-powered tools that do things like coloring. Like you provide it a reference image for colors, and then it will just do the, like, fill-ins for all of the coloring and stuff. Or, yeah, I don't know. I love that face for when I said AI. That whatever emoji that is. But yeah, AI is... I should say this, AI is not going anywhere. It's a new technology, and there's always these growing pains with new technologies. But eventually people adopt them, unless it's 3D TV, then no one ever will adopt that. There's always growing pains with new technologies, and there's always people who are gonna hate it. But it'll always pull through, and there will be more good uses for it than there are detriments to using it. Tools in general are getting more accessible. Exactly. Blender is free. You can do 2D and 3D animation with it. Also, I haven't changed... Speaking of Blender, I haven't changed... Pearl looks weird when she's sopping. Just, like, yeah, being... Like, the computers are getting better. People's computers at home can do... like full 3D animation. Maybe not to render it out, but you can just straight up, like, on a personal computer that would have been like unimaginable in the 2000s. But funding them to give them creative freedom is nice. That's why things like Kickstarter exist, and Patreon, and t-shirt sales. "3D modeler, an occasional animator, and I'm all Blender for that." I respect it. I had this discussion yesterday on Discord, that, like, it was, again, to go back to AI, is that Adobe, when people ended up submitting stock photos to Adobe, or even just like using Adobe software to do creative projects, there's a thing in their terms of service that says that Adobe can use their customers' products for basically anything, which includes training AI models. They said, "Oh, we're not training AI models with your projects," but they didn't change the terms of service to say that that's the case. So they're definitely training AI models with stuff. So that is one of the points where I ditched Adobe and decided to exclusively do open source software, because there's no license agreement, or there is a license agreement which says you can modify and like make a new version of this software and distribute it. And that's the license agreement. There's no like appropriate use or anything like other companies have. What do they call it? Like there's no terms of use when you download Blender. Flat hair Pearl is weirdly cursed. Yeah, she looks like a Karen. Also, why I don't post on Instagram. Yes. And that's why, part of the reason I'm not on like Facebook or Instagram. Anything with a license agreement is like immediately red flaggish to me because I've seen so many shit that like, oh, my printer just started making noises. Stop! Fucking robots, man. They're listening to me talk about AI. Pearl is a Karen in the early seasons, yeah. But the like license agreements have become just like red flags to me. Every time I look at a piece of software and it has a license agreement, I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to use this at all. Especially if it's a piece of creative software or somewhere I'm going to be uploading files to. That's a contract. You're signing a contract, and I'm bad at reading the contract. That's interestingly enough, the YouTube, like the terms of service for YouTube are, first of all, very short relatively. It's like more readable than most of them, and they as far as I know, they like you get to keep your copyright and all that. But yeah, I'll just use open source software going forward. Why I'm on Linux, why I use Blender for video editing, why I use Godot for making games, why I use Krita for making thumbnails, why I use Firefox for browsing the internet. Also, I've never touched TikTok ever in my life. I've had people say, like, well, you're making... Because I'm making a video game, and people were like, whoa, you should advertise it on TikTok. I'm like, no. I get that would... I could reach a larger audience for that, but I don't want to have anything to do with TikTok. I think it's hellscape. It's crazy. Call me paranoid about like the Chinese government and all that, because I am. Where did this lobster come from? It's just, it spawns in. This thing's huge. You have to throw that back. When they're that big, you got to throw them back. If I needed an algorithm to spread more to spread like drawings and stuff, if I was going to start doing art and needed to post it online, then Tumblr would be one of my first picks. I would definitely 100% not pick DeviantArt, because DeviantArt, talk about AI, that website used to be like fun to go on and see some actual like talent. Or some furry degenerates, but that's beside the point. But now it's just furry degenerates and AI. And like I said about AI, it's not going anywhere. But in terms of image generation, just like flat, just prompting it to generate an image, I think that's boring. Feel called out by the furry degenerate line? Well, I'm not saying anything specifically about you. I'm not saying anything specifically. I'm just saying that there are furry degenerates on DeviantArt. The warp pad is broken. The warp pad... How does the warp pad repair when the time temple crumbles? Probably because the temple reverses time until a point where the warp pad wasn't broken. That must be why they named it DeviantArt. Yeah. Why was it named DeviantArt? Why Why was DeviantArt like it had that weird capitalization? I don't get it. I don't know if there's a definitive answer to that. Maybe it is sexual deviance. Naming it DeviantArt was their first mistake, yeah. It was the early aughts and it sounded cool. Yeah, it was like edgy. It's like, oh, I'm a deviant. I'm gonna customize my page and post to my DeviantArt. Why does she have eyelashes? What is this? Is that like her eyes drawn on top of like her eyes but they're closed? Is that what this is? Wait. Oh, that's her eyebrows that never got like erased. But then she opened them all the way on top of her eyebrows. I think that is an animation error. I think that's just a classic animation error. Neat. I was like, back up here, I'm like, well, why does she have eyelashes? They're not eyelashes. They're eyebrows. Pearl honestly looks better with eyelashes. Weirdly enough, can I say I think this design would be cool just in general. I like this hairstyle in the eyelashes. It's kind of neat. This is like an alternate. This is like someone else's Pearl. You know? I gotta make a goddamn FAQ page. I said that last time I streamed, but I always get the same questions like, who's my favorite gem? I say it's Amethyst. I like Peridot until the point where they put her on the back burner and then never do anything with her again. But if Peridot stuck around longer, she would be my favorite. But I'd have to say Amethyst is my favorite. Later seasons took away Jasper's eyeliner. Yeah, but, like, she couldn't do makeup if she was in the wilderness, you know? Do I have ideas for broader topic Steven Universe videos? I do have a few. What do you call it? I have the hot takes video coming out soon. That's going to be after 3 episodes from now on YouTube. That's 2 episodes from now on Patreon. The hot takes, where I'll just like go over all the hot takes and talk about those for a little while. I think that would be fun. And I got a ton of hot takes. What do you call it? I've had a few other ones. I do have a video planned that's entirely not Steven Universe related that I want to work on, but I haven't started that yet. I don't know if that'll be the same time as or like right after doing the hot takes video, maybe not. Yeah, I'm doing mid-season break that's the hot takes video. I'm considering doing a second break video, but I think I'm just gonna do the one. Just take a... like, I'm gonna prepare that video and take kind of a week off before... of just, like, editing in general and making shit. Just need a little bit here. A couple minutes. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna get some food, because I didn't have any food before I started the stream, and it's getting to that point where I'm getting real hungry. I'm gonna start talking about Vietnamese sandwiches again. I'm glad it didn't turn into the Vietnamese sandwich stream, or like the food stream. It always devolves into food because I always get hungry during streams. Steven got fucking raptured. Watch this. See, he's just riding along and he gets fucking raptured. How do we feel about Pumpkin? I don't know nothing about Pumpkin. I know Pumpkin is like Discount Pearl in that one episode, and that's pretty much it. I think Pumpkin is a good, like, gag character, but I think it's on the same level of Onion, where he's just kind of there and doesn't do anything important for the most part. Why does his helmet not teleport with him? And his flip-flops did. And his ukulele did. But not his scooter or the helmet. He had the ukulele. I don't get it. Yeah, that's something I complained about in the video. He didn't get to keep his scooter or his helmet. I guess you don't need the helmet if you don't get to keep the scooter, but... he got to keep the ukulele. I don't, there's no logic. It's magic. It's magic nonsense. The time thing has the same forethought as the writers. I mean, yeah. It's what the writers decide to bring. He needs to bring with him. That's like the Stan Lee thing. It's like, what if, who would win if Spider-Man fought the Hulk and or what was it? The Thing fought Spider-Man. Either way, it's like whoever wins is whoever the writers want to win. It's like, well, that's boring. That's a boring answer. That's I can't blame him because that's the true answer, but that's the boring answer. The less boring answer is like, well, we're gonna make a comic about that and we're gonna find out. And then neither of them win because you can't let fans of one of them, I don't know. This episode is more of a mindfuck than Say Uncle. I agree. I think Say Uncle is easy to write off as that he has cartoon physics. And then he has like hammer space and all that bullshit. What would you guys do with a clone of yourself? Because I know I'd probably kill mine. Sayuncle was flat out stated to be non-canon, but I have a hard time fitting this episode into canon. Well, I don't even think this episode is canon at all, because the Steven that experienced this whole episode fucking disintegrates at the end of this one. So none of this episode happened at all. Like, this is the only through line Steven. He didn't experience anything that happened in this episode other than all of the Stevens dying. Okay, clone answers. We could both make a lot of money doing interviews about the situation. True. The real answer is you'd probably just go off and live separate lives. Yeah. Probably use my clone for crimes. Or to multitask. Okay, those are two very different answers. Trick everyone into thinking, I have a twin? To gaslight? Yes, gaslight your friends. Yes, that's what I would do with my clone. I think I wouldn't end up killing him out of, fucking boredom or out of rage, annoyance-filled rage. I think if I planned out how to gaslight everybody with a clone, then I would most certainly do that. I would spread misinformation. Because that is probably the most fun thing you could do with a copy of yourself. Clone fight? True. You'd have like a Family Guy chicken, Peter fighting the chicken, but like with your clone. Do you think you could co-sign for like a mortgage with a clone of yourself? These are the questions that are important to me. Do you think if you had a clone, do you think they'd have to pay separate taxes, or my cat showed up, or would they have like they'd have to go get like a separate social security number, and at that point you could like co-sign for a mortgage? Can we have less ominous music? No, this is Factorio. I love Factorio music, it's awesome. Yeah, would a clone have to pass like a citizenship test to like continue functioning as a human being? They find someone matching your exact description, dental records, DNA, yet you're still alive. That's weird. Yeah, and they would like share your fingerprints. Do you know like identical twins share identical DNA sequences, but they still have different fingerprints because that is not determined by DNA, and it's determined by like factors while you're in the womb. Yeah. That's an interesting thing, because then you would have a clone and they would have the same fingerprints as you. Did I pull them out of their old timeline? If so, that's effed up. No, it wouldn't be, because it's like their old timeline is the same as the current timeline. Unless you're talking about like the people in that old timeline losing their version of you. How are you at 2 locations at once? Yeah, you could like pretend. You could like fuck with people and say like they're drunk because they're seeing 2 of you. This question can get really dark. It can also, if you're going a different direction, it could also get really lewd. But I'm glad none of you went that direction. This is probably the least lewd chat that I've had in years. There was zero degeneracy in this chat. There was no talk of jizz. There was no talk of Steven's penis. I think I'll end it that way. I feel like I will, yeah, nobody wants to be the one they'd fuck their clone. Oh, you said it! Now I gotta end the stream because it's getting loud. But everyone would, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for coming. I'm getting hungry, so I need to go get some food. To make some food. I'm hankering a little bit of a fettuccine alfredo. It's waiting for me in the fridge. Just to try it? Yeah, exactly my mindset. Anyway, I'll probably do more of these. I have wanted to try to do just like game streams on Twitch at some point alongside the regular streams that I do on weekends. But those I'm not gonna like make a big deal out of those. I just want to play fucking Minecraft or something. Anyway, I'm hungry. I'm going. I'll be back soon enough. New episode comes out on Wednesday, of course. And yeah, that's all I got. This is me leaving the stream.